Greetings, family. Is there any audio? I cannot hear.
Can you hear me? There should be audio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So you said couldn't hear the music when I was sharing?
No, I haven't heard anything. This is the first. You just speaking to me. There is the first sound I've heard.
Okay.
There's a button on the thing to share the audio. You know that? Uh, Let me see where that is. Um, where is that?
Greetings, Russ Daniel. Welcome.
Yes, family.
Read it.
Where's that? You can share. There's a thing where you can share the music. You need to activate something on the platform. You know that, sister? Join.
I'm gonna try again, so we'll see if it works this time around.
Yeah, there's actually something you have to press on the
Yeah, says audio or something like that. It's like a
Yeah,
little check mark when you first hit
yeah. I
share
can't
screen.
remember where it is. I'm just looking for it.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
where is it? Where is it?
when you hit share, it should be like at the bottom or something.
Yeah. Ah, right. Share. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
No. Yeah, I can hear it now.
Blessed be the Most High, and His last I. God of His creation, seal them up, O Jah.
So what is ClickUp? I'm happy you asked. Let me tell you. So what is ClickUp? If you just give me a second to explain, I'm gonna tell you. So what is ClickUp? Listen, man,
swiftly gather, Jah children are gathered to thee, with our red, gold, and green floating o'er us, and our emperor to shield us from wrong, with our hope and our future before us. We hail and we chant and we sing. children automatically calling from over the distant sea. Jehovah, the great one, has heard us. He has come to protect us from wrong. Send his holy angels to guide us and to protect us in this land. God bless our Neguselam, who keeps Ethiopia free to advance with truth and right, to advance with love and light, with righteousness pleading. We hail to our God and our King, humanity pleading one cause.
Yes, sir. Neguselam. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Another Sunday, giving thanks and praise, and looking forward to this. Another one, good one. So give thanks, everybody coming in. Got our chaplain here, and we also have our sergeant of arms. And today we're going to have a wonderful day. And so, yes, we'll begin with our chaplain, saying with an opening prayer. Then after we'll have our sergeant of arms give a little segment about our Constitution to keep us up to par. Blessed love. Chaplain, I don't think your mic is on as yet, so make sure your mic is on. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Jenestalin, greetings one and all, blessed rising. Neguselam, lekulekemu, makam negatu, abakadus, katamawe, highly selassie, siam, exhibia, ye negusi, negestitu, ye dele, meskele. Ye Ethiopia, koheb, negusi. Ye negusi, kedus siride, amlakana, hailina, wasawana, Hasana, Sata Amasagana, Amlakana 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 Hailina, Wasawana, Hasana, Sata Amasagana. The King of Peace be unto you, blessed rising with the glorious King, our Holy Father, the glorious, the Aman, might and power and instrument of the Holy Triune, the Lord's anointed King of our tribe, the Emperor's cross of victory, Ethiopia star King, Ethiopia King, holy coronation, our God, our strength, our protector. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains of Untauto, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our God. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Exhibitor. Glory in the highest to our God, our strength, our protector. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains of Untauto, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Exhibitor. Glory in the highest to our God, our strength, our protector. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains of Untauto, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Amlak. Glory in the highest to our God, our strength, our protector. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Amlak. Glory in the highest to our God, our strength, our protector. How beautiful are the feet of him that stand upon the mountains of Untauto, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Exhibitor. Glory in the highest. Abacadus Kadamare, Haile Selassie, Siam Exhibitor, Sila, Adhu Ap, Red, Memphis Kudus, Haile Kal, Abacadus Kadamare, Haile Selassie, Siam Exhibitor, Behamanab, well, Memphis Kudus, Haile Kalaba Kudus, Kadamawe, Haile Selassie, Siam Exhibia, Amlakana, Elena, Wasawana, Sata Masagana, Sata Masagana, Sila. For we, the Black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, do hereby gather and uphold this ordained constitution of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated unto His Imperial Majesty Abacadus Kenamawe Kadamawe Adi Selassie Siam Exhibir as Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Mahel Tafari in accordance with the 1931 Ethiopian Constitution, Chapter 2, Powers and Prerogatives of the Emperor, Article 29. As Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Forces, the Emperor has the right to organize and establish missions on behalf of the defense to preserve the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia. Abacadus Kenamawe, Hadi Selassie Siam Exhibia, Ababa Jahai, Sila. Yes, now we have a word for our Sergeant at Arms. Give thanks.
Yes, sir. Highly. I sound like my voice is double. Am I good? Yes, sir. Highly. I go right into it. Can you all hear me? Can I hear me?
Yes, I. Yes.
Yes,
So
I.
give thanks. I wanted to start here real quick, and then I'm gonna read a little bit of the Constitution. It just says here, this is from Liege McConan in 1960. Okay, and I would wanted to just highlight this because, and just be quick. It says, must bring their free nations of Africa and Asia must bring their collective power to bear upon the world affairs and must play their vital role in the realization of an international atmosphere in which science can become the salvation of man and not the means of self-destruction. Yes, I highly because we know in our Constitution, this is the Ethiopian World Federation. Where'd it go? Let's just do this every time. Give thanks. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we are. So when we speak of world affairs, how do we get involved with this? We, the Black people of the world, in order to affect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, to do hereby establish and ordain this constitution for the Ethiopian World Federation. Here's our science. Here's our science. And it says we must go about these things in order to secure our salvation. How do we do that? Promote love and goodwill among Ethiopians home and abroad, thereby to maintain the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia. To disseminate the ancient Ethiopian culture amongst its members to correct abuses, relieve oppression, and carve for ourselves, our posterity, a destiny comparable with our idea of perfect manhood and God's purpose in creating us, that we may not only save ourselves from annihilation, but carve for ourselves in the place of us in the sun. In this endeavor, we determine to seek peace and pursue it, for it is the will of God for man. To promote and pursue happiness, for it's the goal of human life and endeavor. To usher the teachings and practice the fatherhood of God and brotherhood of man. To promote and stimulate interest amongst its members in world affairs and to cultivate a spirit. Here we are, international goodwill and commodity. So we are part of the science. To promote friendly interest amongst its members and develop a fraternal spirit amongst them and inculcate its members the desire to render voluntary aid and assistance to one another at all times. Yes, sir. President, you wanted me to, you said something about the committees, or we'll do that next time? You said, but I just wanted, I know this is Neguselam, I just wanted us, because what we're doing here today with the chaplain leading us is the science. So I just wanted to just talk about that science and then explain how we are part of that science. So give thanks, Chaplain. I know the chair did say something about the committees. I was thinking maybe that was for this afternoon, but we give thanks for being here, part of the science, and letting the chaplain go ahead and promote this international goodwill on us through the powers of Abacadus, Kitamari, Haile Selassie, CM Exhibit. Give thanks.
Chaplain, you're muted. So if you are speaking, please unmute.
Neguselam. Give thanks. Let's get forward here. Yes, I give thanks once again. Give thanks. Hi, about art. Elon? Let's see. Yes. Welcome once again. For we, the Black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, we do hereby gather and uphold this ordained Constitution of the Ethiopian World Federation, incorporated unto His Imperial Majesty Abakadus Kedamawi Adisalasi Mixibir as Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Ethiopian Mahel Forces on behalf to preserve the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage. Abakadus Kedamawi Adisalasi Mixibir. Give thanks, Sergeant at Arms, for that. Keep an eye in the statehood that our Father has established for we. Aliyah. Sila. Forward then. Siam Exibia is the title of Ethiopia. It's a title that means the equivalent of our nation as Rastafari. When one say, Jahaha, Rastafari, we put that appellation to His Majesty name, Jaha, or Hallelujah, Rastafari is synonymous with Siam Exibir. For Siam Exibir means the Lord of our tribe, according to the Davidic covenant. There are 7 covenants of Ethiopia, which is the Tawahedo covenant. Ethiopia is the only nation that preserves the 7 covenants in its fullness as a living testimony. The first covenant is the covenant of matrimony, of wedding, of matrimony, of man and woman. Also significant of the wedding of the righteous sons and daughters unto their Lord and Father, their King, who shall come and take them unto Himself and adopt them unto Himself as sons and daughters of truth and light. So, the first covenant of Tawahedo, Ethiopia, is marriage, which we say matrimony and patrimony. Matrimony and patrimony. For we invited to the holy matrimony to receive the divine patrimony, which is a land inheritance from one's male ancestor or an organization given on behalf to preserve the integrity culture of the world. So the first covenant of Tawahedo is matrimony. The second covenant is the rainbow covenant. The rainbow covenant of the green, gold, and ice, which is the color of amber, which is the rainbow covenant of Noah, that our Father would not destroy the world, but He would save the world. For the last days are the last days of sin and the son of perdition, governing over His faithful children, sons and daughters of truth. The third covenant is the bread and wine covenant of Melchizedek, which is the communion at the wedding, honoring the first covenant and the second covenant before the ensign shall rise above the head of the Negus, signaling the time of the redemption in the green, gold, and ice. Also invited to the holy matrimony, where the Negus shall make an everlasting covenant with I and I, pertaining also to the Tawahedo covenants of faith. Through the bread and wine, he become the holy Gesel and the holy Chabo. He's the holy Gesel, which is the medicinal herb, kind of sweet in your mouth but bitter in your belly, associated with the honey. for the purification. So in this title, the Negus takes on the title Madahani Alam, which is the savior of the world, and to angelicize and Ethiopia medicine of the world. So he's the holy gesso in the wine, upholding the third covenant of the bread and wine offering. Notice it's a bread and wine and bread, not wine and meat. For this is angel's food. It's a bloodless offering, right? The same as when Gideon, in the time of Gideon, when the Midianites saw the vision of the loaf of bread that did come into their camp and mash up all of their tents. It was a loaf of barley bread that mashed up the tents of the Midianites. So, in accordance with the third covenant of the bread and wine of Melchizedek, the holy Kiddush Negus is the holy Gesso and the holy Chibo. For in a line with Ezekiel chapter 10, starting from Ezekiel 8 through 10, he sets as the Tablet of Tabernacles, the Feast of Tabernacles, where he takes the oath of restoration and renewal and faithfulness and righteousness before the holy Tabot to uphold the faith and righteousness. Whereas through the wine offering, he becomes the holy table, which is the light of the fire that we like the demerit at Mascal. The king holds the royal chibo when he lights the Mascal fire. So he himself, according to the prophecy, is that which sparks the flame of the fire that comes forward. So he spreads the fire. For in Ezekiel 10, it says, stick thy hand in between the cherubims and take the fire and spread the fire throughout the city. So the fire comes out of the temple, out of the church, and spread throughout the city for the purification of the earth as the medicinal medicine of the earth through the light of joy and peace. Light of joy and peace. The fourth covenant is the covenant of circumcision of Abraham, representing in our time the circumcision of your heart. For your heart has to be renewed in the restoration. Because first we have to blaze a fire from within and burn down personal sin. Then you hear the knock and let the king come in. Then you shall transcend the ways of sin, which is sensations of the flesh. The fifth covenant is the covenant of the tabot, or the law and commands, which come forward to I and I, signified by the golden 10 commandments and the tabot, right? The sixth covenant of Tawahido is the covenant of the throne of David. David, the throne of David, is the sixth covenant. For our faith cannot go forward without the throne. You can't leave the throne. Everything is entwined together. One covenant supports the other. You can't leave one. For the Negus is the head of all ceremony. The Negus is the head. He's the central theme of the faith. So the sixth covenant is the throne of David. For the Lord did make an oath unto David, Psalms 132, of the fruit of thy loins shall I set upon thy throne, if thy children shall keep thy covenant and testimonies and laws that I have given to thee. Their children also shall sit upon thy throne forevermore. So this is the Davidic covenant that the king come to fulfill in reference to 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 5. For Israel, better Israel asked for a king to come and judge them and stand before judgment and lead them into war and fight their battles for them. At this time, better Israel changed the history of biblical accordingly. For all the times before, our Father has always been with me, for he's the visible, invisible one. All our battles was always fought through him, for we was always outnumbered according to the multitude. And how did we win? So at this time, in Samuel chapter 1, chapter 1 Samuel chapter 8, I pray that verse 5, Israel's rejection of theocracy for monarchy. So the theocracy ends at the monarchy. Because before Israel, through the theocracy, was ruled by prophets and judges, priests and prophets through the iris of the Most High led. But since Samuel's sons didn't walk after him, but after the ways of the world, the people asked for a king. So the king had the plan really from foundation time. You will find in the books of the forgotten books of the garden and the first prophecy of the coming of the Christ or Messiah until I and I, who shall take up the flesh of David. The seventh and final covenant is the Messiah himself that was promised, the Holy Comforter. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And he shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Jah, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. Our Father, His Imperial Majesty, the might and power of the Holy Triune, the Lord's anointed, King of our tribe. Sila. Yes, I. Can the item still hear I? Leai?
Yes, I. Yes, I.
Leai. Yes, I. Give thanks. So these are the 7 covenants, magnificent, of the Rainbow Circle Throne. The 7 covenants which magnifies our faith and represent our faith, which is the ultimate of our King. For our King wears the triple crown of the unified Godhead. Right? Adhu, Ad, Red, Memphis, Kudus. He read all of them sit within the King, unified to mean Tawahido, a perfect unified one, which is our makeup, that our Father has come to show us our trueness of who we are and our true power if we overcome the ways of the flesh. Right? For our Christ did say, things I do, you could do greater through the agitation and the manifestation of walking within the revelation and the truth. So the ultimate covenant is the covenant of the King. The King sit. The first covenant of matrimony. Second covenant is the rainbow covenant. The third covenant is the circumcision of your heart. Remove the stone heart and have a heart of iridicalness to feel the truth and ordain in the truth, for obedience is greater than sacrifice. The fourth covenant, that's the circumcision of the heart. The fifth covenant, no, is the civil law that shall come forward through the seed of David, which is the holy law and the civil law to bring forth the sovereignty. The sixth covenant is the throne of David, which is the rallying point and also given as a mercy seat for we to turn to in the time of repentance, in the time of trouble, for he's a very near help in times of trouble. Yes. The seventh covenant is the promised great David's greater son, for one greater than Solomon is here. Selah. Yes, I give thanks. Ethiopia, Koheb Negus, Star King of Ethiopia, Star King of Ethiopia. For the irit of Sealmexibir is upon I, because the Lord has anointed I to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent I to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound by the liar, their liar. Ye Ethiopia Koheb Negusi, the star king of Ethiopia, Abakadus Gatamare, Kadamare, Haile Selassie, Siam Exibir, the star king of Ethiopia, the star king of Ethiopia, testament of Levi, the prophecy of the star king, the common star king prophecy, the star king, star priest. Then shall the Lord raise unto up a new priest, and to him all the words of the Lord shall be revealed, and he shall execute a righteous judgment upon the earth for a multitude of days. And his star shall arise in heaven as of a king. His star shall arise as in heaven as of a king. Lighten up the light of knowledge as the sun the day, and he shall be magnified in the world. He shall shine forth as the sun on earth, and shall remove all darkness from under heaven. And there shall be peace in all the earth. The heavens shall exult in his days, and the earth shall be glad, and the clouds shall rejoice, and the knowledge of the Lord shall be poured forth upon the earth as the water of the seas. And the angels of the glory of the presence of the Lord shall be glad in him. The heavens shall be open, and from the temple of glory shall come upon him sanctification with the Father's voice, as from Abraham to Isaac. The glory of the Most High shall be uttered over him, and the irit of overstanding and sanctification shall rest upon him in the Waha. For he shall give the majesty of the Lord to his sons in truth forevermore, and there shall none succeed him for all generations forever. And in his priesthood the Gentiles shall be multiplied in knowledge upon the earth, and enlightened through the grace of the Lord. And his priesthood shall sin come to an end, and the lawless shall cease to do evil. He shall open the gates of paradise, and shall remove the threatening sword against Adam. And the spirit, the arid, he shall give to the saints to eat from the tree of life, and the irit of holiness shall be on them. I repeat, he shall open the gates of paradise, and shall remove the threatening sword against Adam, and shall give to the saints to eat from the tree of life, and the irit of holiness shall be on them. And Beliar shall be bound by him, and he shall give power to his children to tread upon the evil spirits. Fire! And the Lord shall rejoice in his children, and he shall be well pleased in his beloved ones forever. Then shall Abraham and Isaac and Jacob exult, and I will be glad and all the saints shall clothe themselves with joy. Selah, 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 Selah. And now, my children, ye have heard all. Choose therefore for yourselves either light or the darkness, either the law of the Lord or the works of Beliar. And his sons answered, saying, before the Lord we will walk according to his law. And their father said unto them, the Lord is witness, and his angels are witnesses, and you are witnesses, and I am witness concerning the word of your mouth. And his son said unto him, we are witnesses. A niggas a hold the sign up for his front line, so them can hold a righteous mind. A niggas a hold the sign up for his front line, so them can hold a righteous mind. I need Gus to hold the sign up for his front line, so them can hold a righteous mind. I need Gus to rise and shine and leave Babylon mine, and you shall gain a righteous mind. I need Gus to rise and shine and walk the chalk line, and you shall gain a righteous mind. A nigga shall rise and shine and seek him in this time, and you shall gain a righteous mind. I nigga shall rise and shine and seek him in this time, and you shall gain a righteous mind. A nigga shall hold the sign up for his front line, so them can hold a righteous mind. A nigga shall hold the sign up for his front line, so them can hold a righteous mind. Fireball hot, the light and joy of the blessed Negus. Sila, Sila, Sila. State of Neguselam, consciousness of innermost peace, brought through embracing the reality of our true liberty through our promised Redeemer, the Lord our righteousness, and the Lord our vengeance. For vengeance is mine, said the Lord of hosts. John 14:27, Psalms 1:01. John 14:27, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world give it, I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Selah. Psalms 101. I and I will sing of mercy and judgment to thee, O Lord, where I and I sing. And I will behave myself wisely in the perfect way. Or when thou comest to I, and I will walk within thy house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before thy eyes. I hate the works of them that turn aside. It should not cleave to I and I. A forward heart should depart from I and I will not know a wicked person. Whoso previously slandered his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that has a high look and a proud heart will not I and I suffer. My eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with I. He that walk in an eifig way, he shall serve I. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within thy house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in thy sight. For I and I will utterly rise to destroy all the weak hearts, so I may cut off all weak hearts from the city of the Lord. Abacadus Kenamari, Adisalati Sion Mixibir. Just said the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah on November the 2nd, 1930, in the Kudus Crescent in the Holy of Holies. Selah. So, don't worry about the wicked. For the king is slewing them off every day. He did make an oath. He's the eternal one. He did make an oath. He said, I will arise early to destroy all the weak hearts of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And he took his sword, carried that sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty eye, Eli, Selah, Selassie. For the iron of the Lord, Selah makes the beer, is upon I, because the Lord has anointed I to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent I to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound by disgruntledness and mischievousness and division and war, and banishing the slandering tongue of disgruntledness, bandering the slandering tongue of divisionness, fireball, hot, red hot upon the dragon head and the spliced tongue, fireball, hot. For the dragon took captivity with the tongue. This means to gain power or control over someone through deceitful or manipulative speech, essentially capturing them with their words. Revelation 12:1, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, fireball, a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon her head. Fireball, hot. Revelation 12:4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her children as soon as it was her child, as soon as it was born. Fireball, hot. Now this is the conflict. This is the conflict of the iron with the flesh. This is the conflict of the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve with Satan. The symbolic ones, Adam and Eve, they must say. The Adamite one, the melanated one. The conflict of the iron with the spirit with the flesh. But we say spirit because it comes and goes. The iron stands firm upon the rock. The conflict of the spirit with the flesh. For they are after the flesh. But they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. But they that are after the spirit, the iron, the things of the iron. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be ironically minded is life and peace. O thee of little faith, how long shall you stand at the gate, be troubled by emotional faith? For to be carnally minded is death, but to be ironically minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity between Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir, for it is not subject to the law of Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir. For we are not of this world. For the wise man of Adiselassie first is foolishness to this world. And the knowledge of this world is foolishness to Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir. Because the carnal mind is in enmity against Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir. For it is not subject to the law of Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Abakadus Kenamari Adiselassie Siom Exhibir. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the iron, the things of the iron. So how shall you shackle vengeance unless you leave out the flesh? For vengeance is a taste of the flesh. So how can you leave vengeance unless you come out the flesh of vengeance and enter into the light of joy and peace? For I am light. I am joy. I am love. I am life. I am liberation. How shall you liberate with the darkness in your heart? For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be aridically minded is life and peace, because the carnal mind is enmity against Abakadus Kedamawi Adisalati Siyom Exhibia. For it is not subject to the law of Abakadus Kedamawi Adisalati Siyom Exhibia. Neither indeed can be. So they that are in the flesh cannot please Abakadus Kedamawi Adisalati Siyom Exhibia. But through the spirit we led unto truth and through patience to watch and pray to overcome the accuser and the enmity of envy and jealousy. The seven-headed tongue, beast, they always come with a seven-head different accusation to cause disruption and division amongst the congregation, forfeiting their first mission, which is to praise the Most High in works, not only song, but in works, because they must be at peace to gather together in works for the golden rule. The power of the seven-headed red dragon is the separation, is the rod of the making of the Negroes in slavery, which is the Ridley Lynch letter, the making of the slave. For Ridley Lynch was a Jamaican slave breaker. He traveled from island to island, setting up this atrocity to break the human nature of our people. Under the law of discovery and the papal doctrine of the red dragon. And the green dragon. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy to control. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, and status on plantations. Attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or on the hill, east, west, north, south. Have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation. Respect or admiration. I repeat, I assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The black slaves are receiving the indoctrination, shall carry on, and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years. I repeat, the black slaves, after receiving this doctrine, this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-regenerating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseeing distrust all blacks. It is necessary that your slave trust and depend on us. Fireball. No self-determination. No self-determination. It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensively for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of each other. Thank you, gentlemen. So this is the shackle and the chain unleashed by the seven-headed dragon upon our people to captivate them. Took captivity with the tongue. This means to gain power or control over someone through deceitful or manipulative speech, essentially capturing them with their words. Fireball, hot. This is what they use on our people. Revelation 12:5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Exhibiha and to his throne. Fireball, hot. The woman with the 12 stars upon her head, who was clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. She brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Exhibiha and to his throne. Fireball, hot. It's that Mabrak, lightning and thunder, earthquake, Nagorwat, Highly, Sila, the holy coronation, the Ethiopia, the Neguselam Kudus Zeridi, the holy coronation of our king, representing the fulfillment of the 6th and 7th covenant of the Tawahedo Orthodox Mistra upon the throne of David. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Highly Selassie I, formerly Rastafari, succeeds to the world's oldest continually sovereign throne. By Addis E. Southport, United States Representative, United States Minister to Ethiopia. Source, National Geographic, June 1931. As Sunday, November the 2nd, dawned clear, all in Addis Ababa began to prepare for the impressive event of the morning. The conquering lion of the tribe of Judah and his empress have just completed a night of prayer and devotion at the most high altar within. Through the early rising, the chanting of praises continued, accompanied by the dancing of the priests with their great pulsating drums. The whole suggestive of the ancient Jewish rites which were in use at the time of King David danced before the Ark of the Covenant. Proceeded by waving incense burners, His Imperial Majesty, attired in white silk communion robes, entered the ceremonial hall with an escort of aides and clergy, and took his place upon the throne. The thrilling but solemn silence gently breaks to the throaty voice of His Holiness, the Abuna Quilios. Ye princes and ministers, ye nobles and chiefs of the army, ye soldiers and people of Ethiopia, and ye doctors and chiefs of the clergy, ye professors and priests, look you upon our emperor, Kadamawe Haile Selassie I, descended from the dynasty of Menelik I, who was born of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, a dynasty perpetuated without interruption from the time of King Sahila and our times. 49 bishops and priests of this ancient Christian country in groups of 7 have held place for 7 days and nights in the 7 corners of the National Cathedral to chant without ceasing 9 Psalms of David. They are now joined by hundreds more. The established Tawahedo Church is revered, all-powerful in Ethiopia. This is the day when it may and does show its impressive might and splendor. The emperor, whose name is angelicized as power of the Holy Trinity, before the questioning of the Abuna, gives his sacred pledge to uphold the Orthodox religion of the church, to support and administer the laws of the country for the betterment of the people, to maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, and to found schools for the development, the spiritual and material welfare of her subjects. Chanting and prayers to the God of gods rise from a multitude of priestly throats and reverberate from the lofty ceiling of the cathedral, one by one, with the solemn rites and blessings of the high Ethiopian clergy. He received the golden embroidered scarlet robe, the jeweled sword, imperial gold scepter, the orb, the diamond encrusted ring, and 2 gold filigree lances in token of his position and responsibility, following ancient customs, as when Samuel anointed David and Zadok and Nathan anointed Solomon. So the Abuna anointed his majesty's head with oil. 7 differently scented ointments of ancient prescription are received on the imperial head, brow, and shoulders. I repeat, 7 differently scented ointments of ancient prescription are received on the imperial head, brow, and shoulders. He then concluded with the words that Exhibit make this crown a crown of glory, that by the grace and the blessings which we have given, you may have an unshaken faith and a pure heart, in order that you may inherit the crown eternal. So be it. I repeat, fire. 7 differently scented ointments of ancient prescription are received on the imperial head, brow, and shoulders. He then concluded with the words that Exhibiha make this crown a crown of glory, that by the grace and the blessing which we have given, you may have an unshaken faith and a pure heart, in order that you may inherit the crown eternal. So be it. Let us revisit the prophecy of the Star King. For none shall succeed him for all generations, for he shall inherit the crown eternally. No other king. He shall inherit the crown eternal. None shall succeed him for all generations, for he shall inherit the crown eternally. That God may make this crown a crown of glory, that by the grace and blessing which we have given, you may have an unshaken faith and a pure heart, in order that you may inherit the crown eternal. So be it. The centuries seem to have slipped suddenly backwards into biblical ritual. The assembly applauded their greetings, and the visiting naval band played the national anthem, while outside cannons roared a salute of 101 cannons, guns, and cheer after cheer came from thousands of subjects massed in the vicinity of the cathedral. The final ceremonies is a grand tour of the cathedral by their imperial majesties. They are escorted by the bishops and priests and princes and high dignitaries, assistants, and others carrying palm branches and chanting in mighty volume, Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed be the King of Israel. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Palm branches is significant with this day of Abisham, which is the feast of Fasika starting today. Well, in the time of the fast, going forward, the faithful in Ethiopia, Tawahedo, they wrap their head on the Sunday, which is Palm Sunday, leading to the fulfillment of the fast with palm leaves. Clips of palm leaves they wrap around their head as the faithful because of the palm. So in Hosanna, Hosanna, and they chant the Psalms, Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes to resurrect us, the restoration. For this right here is the fulfillment of the 6th and 7th covenant of the Holy Comforter who would come. The palm branches, Palm Sunday. With yesterday, we had the Golden Fastica, which was May 5th, 2024, that aligned itself May 5th, 1941 is the day when Hassana, the Negus, came forward from the mountains of Atato and brought forth the tidings of peace and of freedom over the Ferengi war beasts, Mussolini forces in Ethiopia. So the king who has been crowned to inherit the crown eternally has become our peace. For in peace I leave you, my peace I give unto you. So on May 5th, 1941, our king came with the peace, and he brought this peace to we. Neither let your heart be troubled or be afraid, for Neguselam is established. The mental state of Neguselam, for as one thinketh, so is he. To arid to come over the flesh, for he inherit the crown eternal. He inherit the crown eternal. So he becomes our eternal Neguselam, a very near help in times of trouble. Aliyah. Israel's God is Israel's king, is better Israel's guide, is better Israel's protector, is better Israel's everything. This coronation was represented by delegates from all over the world, from every corner of the earth. For the American, they sent Special Ambassador Mr. H. Murray Jacoby, Brigadier General William Wright Hart, and Mr. Charles Lee Cook, Department of State. All represented their nation at the coronation of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the might of the Trinity, light of the world, King of Zion. Abakudus Kenamawi, Haile Selassie, Sim, Exhibir, the Alpha and Omega, the Rainbow King. Ethiopian history. Ethiopian patriots refer to resistant fighters, particularly the Abanats. Tukur Ambessa, Black Lion Resistance, established by the king before he left to go fight the battle at the League of Nations with the rod and sword of his mouth, and with his breath of his lips, he slew the wicked. Particularly, the Tukur Ambessa, who fought against Italian occupation during World War II, while Negus is the Amharic word for king or emperor, essentially the title used for the Ethiopian ruler, with the most well-known Negus being Emperor Haile Selassie, meaning Ethiopian patriot would be those fighting to protect their nation under the leadership of the Negus. The Negus is the central part of the faith. So they made vows unto the Negus. They grew their hair long and vowed not to cut their hair until the return of the Negus. So their state became the state of Neguselam, founded off the king, founded by the king. For the king said, I shall return with the guns needed and the help needed. Let your hands be strong and your heart assured, neither be afraid. For he who gives his life on behalf of Ethiopia shall be an holy martyr and a holy saint. So thus we have the state of Neguselam, which is a heretical state based off of faith and the reality. For Hassana, I see the feet of him that stand upon the mountains, that bring a good tidings of peace and of freedom, who comes in the most powerful name of our Exhibir. The Lord's anointed, Siam Exhibir, our Father, His Superior Majesty, our Holy Father, His Imperial Majesty, the might and power of the Holy Triune, the anointed of the Lord of our tribe. Put respect upon His name, for he is deserving a standing ovation. Selah. State of Neguselam, a consciousness of innermost peace, brought through embracing the reality of our true liberty through our promised Redeemer, the Lord our righteousness, and the Lord our vengeance. For vengeance is mine, said the Lord of hosts. John 14:27 and Psalms 107. Psalm 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. Fire, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. Ha, 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 ha. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak to them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto I, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Hot. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve Adonai with fear, and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled, but the little fire. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. Fireball hot. Psalm 110. The Lord said unto I, Lord, sit thou at my right hand, until I make thy enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send thy rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thy enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. Aha! Fire! How is it? Thou is here today, and hast the youth of thy youth, O ancient of days. Fireball, hot, red hot. Selah. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. The Lord has sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike 2 kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. June 30th, 1936, at the League of Nations, fire thereabout. With the sword of his mouth, he shall slay the wicked. And with his breath, he shall smite the nations with the sword and slay them. Fire. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. He shall drink by the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up the head. For there is a river wherein no ship or no oar shall pass it. For there is a river where no ship or no oar shall pass it thereto. He shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift of the head. For the goat tried to jump the brook, but in the brook the goat got took, for the goat got stuck. Aliyah, Selah, he shall drink of the brook in the way. Therefore shall he lift up the head. Selah, Selah, Selah. Joel 3, chapter verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, better Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and they parted my land in colonialism. And the city had no need for the sun, neither the moon to shine in it, for the glory of Haile Selassie the first, Shem makes it did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. Ethiopia Koheb Neguselam, Sila Selassie, the light that shines forth to win the war, to overcome the enemy upon the field, cannot alone ensure the victory and peace. The cause of war must be removed. Each nation's right must be secured from violation. Above all, from the human mind must be erased all thoughts of war as a solution. Then, and only then, will war cease. Neguselam, in peace I greet you. My peace I give unto you, but not as the world gives it. For vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Blessed are those who receive their rewards and blessings through patience. Kadamawi, Haile Selassie. Shem makes it beer, Sila. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of her. The woman with the 12 stars upon her head, clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. She fled into the wilderness from the red dragon who wanted to devour her, where she had a place prepared of Ixzibir, that they should feed her there 2,103 score days. The establishment in the wilderness of the people who was violated, whose culture was ripped by a vulture. They drunk of the ancient culture and received it. The blessing of Joseph upon them head. The Ethiopian World Federation incorporated to His Imperial Majesty as Commander-in-Chief, the Lord of Hosts, Jean Shor, Jahoy, Sila. For we, the Black peoples of the world, in order to effect unity, solidarity, liberty, freedom, and self-determination, to secure justice and maintain the integrity of Ethiopia, which is our divine heritage, we do hereby uphold this ordained constitution for the Ethiopian World Federation, incorporated unto His Imperial Majesty as Commander-in-Chief of the Mahel Safari, in accordance with the 1931 Ethiopian Constitution, Chapter 2, Article 29. As Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Forces, the Emperor has the right to organize and to set up missions on behalf to preserve the integrity and sovereignty of Ethiopia when she comes under attack without the approval of Parliament. And he has the right to receive instructions and relations from such missions. So that's how His Majesty established we, the Ethiopian World Federation, incorporated unto himself at Fairfield, the House of Bath, where he received constant information coming from us how well everything was going. Revelation 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought, and his angels, fireballs. The fulfillment of 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 5. Israel asked for a king to lead them into war and to fight their battles for them. Our father, Abakadus Kedamawe, Kadamawe, Haile Selassie, leading the forces into the battle at Machau, the battle of Machau. Revelation 12:8. And prevail not the dragon and the angels prevailed not, neither was their faith found anymore in heaven. Michael standing with the scale of justice and the scepter, which is the covenant of David. Michael, who is as like the Most High, the Lord of hosts, the commander given to read in accordance with Isaiah chapter 55. Ho, 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 come eat, come drink, wine and bread without money, without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is bread, and you eat of that which satisfy not? Hearken diligently to I, and let thy soul delight itself in fatness. Listen to I, and I take heed, and I shall make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David, for I have given him as a witness, as a leader, as a commander. Yes, I. Selah, Selah. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angel was cast out with him. Fireball. How are we to break the chains put on we by the tongue? The chain of the palpable doctrine of discovery that enacted the architect of language and tongue through the Willie Lynch in the making of a slave. For the chain is distrust. The chain is envy. The chain is jealousy that we hold upon ourselves. The chain is distrust. The chain is envy. The chain is jealousy that we fight amongst each other to hold ourselves in captivity. Fireball. How are we to overcome these chains? How are we to remedy this so we can have true solidarity and self-determination, which is the opposite of slavery and domination? Fireball. The light behind the alarm of the world, of our niggas, sea life, to overcome the shackles and the chains, to overcome the captivity. I and I, as better Israel, the Shakur ambassador, we volunteer our king through the state of Neguselam, established juridically. We grew our hair, we made vows unto the king, for he shall sit as a refiner of purified and silver. He shall purify the sons of Judah, that they may offer an offering unto him in righteousness, that the days in these modern times shall be just as pleasant in his eyes as in the ancient times. Aye. So we are the holy warrior, the Mahel, making holy Tanawi Mahala, the Mahala, Ethiopia Tanawi Mahala, the Ethiopian ancient oath, the Mahel, the Mahala, Mahala Selassie, Mahal, the Mahel Safari, those who vowed an oath unto the Negus. Yes. So as Samson, being the holy warrior, we're moving in the light and standing in the light of Samson. For we don't come to God this with a hand, but with the righteous stand. For no hand can enter into the fire. For he is the holy Gesto and the holy Chibo. So the two pillars captivating us and holding us is the pillar of ignorance and the pillar of lies. Two pillars standing before us and holding us captives is the pillar of ignorance and the pillar of lies. So through the state of Neguselam, established by our king, the better nation of Israel shall overcome the servitude of the palpable doctrine of discovery through the peace and light of Neguselam. For I am love, I am light, I am life, I am liberation. The 4 L's to conduct the true house of the temple of the Most High, to bring down the house of servitude of the oppressor by toppling the pillars as Samson did do, to break the chains of mental slavery and spiritual slavery, bringing forth the magnificence of the Tawahito mental state of Neguselam, which is the state of eternal peace, starting from within. For our Father did say, this kingdom of heaven is from within. So as the one thinketh, so is he, or he. Ethiopian liberation. We can't get away from the victory. Ethiopian liberation. The king give us the power of the Akel, the true and living power. For in our arts and our thoughts rest in the hands of the king to give us the strength as Samson to overcome through the power of a vowed redemption, of a vowed restoration, of a vowed purification. For first you have to blaze the fire from within and burn down personal sin. Then you hear the voice upon the wind. Open the gate and let the king come in. Then you shall transcend, and then you shall win. And there's no more war. Hallelujah. The Spirit of the Most High is upon I to preach good tidings to the meek and brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives who are bound, and the prisoners bound by the prison of the tongue of their liar. So we must break the pillars of ignorance and of lies. Those are the shackles of distrust, envy, and jealous, and malicious, mischievous attacks upon each other with the slandering tongue. Fireball, hot, liberation is at hand. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and with them, and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, better Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. The mental state of Neguselam, the magnificence of the mental state of Neguselam, and the fight to remove the mental state of Neguselam. Why most African flags use the red, yellow, and green? This was a mental state of Neguselam that they found hard to break because they seen the pattern that was going on at the time. On October 11, 1897, a year after Ethiopia defended herself from Italian coronation at the Battle of Adwa, Emperor Menelik II authorized the creation of a flag containing a rectangular tricolor from the top to bottom, red, yellow, and green. This flag will eventually have the first letter of its name placed on the center stripe. It will become a clear reference to the Ethiopian Abyssinian Empire as the only African state that resisted modern European colonization, having defeated the Kingdom of Italy in 1896. This flag will be changed several times over the years as the country itself evolved from a monarchy to a dictatorship, then to parliamentary democracy. But these 3 colors will remain. Fireball. In March 1957, Ghana became the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence, and Kwame Nkrumah became the country's first prime minister and president. Nkrumah emerged as a major advocate for the unity of independent Africa. He embodied a political activist approach to Pan-Africanism, championing the quest for regional integration of the whole of the African continent. You see, the concept of Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims at encouraging and strengthening the bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diaspora ethnic groups of Africa. Neguselam. Nkrumah was strongly inspired by Ethiopia's resistance against foreign occupation and decided to incorporate the country's tricolor scheme into Ghana's flag, Neguselam, as a way of paying homage to Ethiopia for being the only African country, aside from Liberia, that was never colonized. Neguselam. Here we have the mental state of Neguselam. Nkrumah was strongly inspired by Ethiopia's resistance against foreign occupation and decided to incorporate the country's tricolor scheme into Ghana's flag as a way of paying homage to Ethiopia. All right, paying homage to Ethiopia. Now within the heights of Ethiopia, the 7 covenants is the paying homage is to the 6th covenant, which is the throne of David, and to him who sits upon that throne, which is the Negus. So Neguselam is the mental state of Neguselam, which is the liberation. I greet you in the name and peace of my King and the light of African redemption and restoration and purification, Neguselam. They took Ethiopia's flag, which by this time had the green stripe on top instead of the red, flipped it, and placed a black 5-pointed star at the center of the flag, Neguselam. Guinea, upon gaining independence in 1958, took the same idea, but this time they went for a vertical tricolor scheme instead. Mental state of Neguselam, paying homage to Ethiopia and the Negus. Mali's flag is Guinea's flag, but with green at the beginning and red at the last stripe. Again, Neguselam, paying homage to Ethiopia and the Negus. The flag of Cameroon, similar to Mali, has red at the middle band with a yellow star and a yellow stripe at the end of the flag. Again, paying homage to Ethiopia and to the Neguselam. The flag of Senegal is very similar to that of Mali, but with a green star in the middle. Again, paying homage to Ethiopia and to the Neguselam. Other African countries that had these colors in their flags, including Togo, Comoros, Burkina Faso, Scilies, Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome, Principe, Congo, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Mauritania, Benin, and so many others, paid homage to Ethiopia and to the Holy Negus state of Neguselam, the mental state of Neguselam, liberation, restoration, and purification of our indigenous sovereignty. These 3 colors, red, green, and yellow, with the inclusion of black, will later be known as the Pan-African colors, the mental state and physical state of Neguselam, which is the grassroots state, Neguselam, the hortical state. These 3 colors, red, green, and gold, with the inclusion of black, will later be known as the Pan-African colors. The magnificence of the mental Tawahedo state of Neguselam, in accordance with the 7 covenants of the Tawahedo tradition and faith. The 6th covenant being the throne of David, and the 7th covenant being the prophesied Masonic priest star king, Holy Comforter himself, that shall arise and break the bonds of bondage and bust open the brass gates and iron bars of papal doctrine of discovery and colonialism and chattel slavery. Although the meaning of the individual colors used in each country's flag may differ from country to country, The countries of the flags that may use the Pan-African colors have similar meaning, with green representing unique nature of the continent having good land for agriculture, red representing the blood and common heritage of Africans. Common heritage of Africans. Homage to Ethiopia, Neguselam. Mental state of Neguselam. The common heritage of Africans during the fight against oppression from colonialism. Yellow representing the west of Africa, and finally, black, which signifies the color of the people. Black that signifies the color of the people. However, there's another variation of the Pan-African color scheme developed by Marcus Messiah Garvey, the Jamaican-born founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, that makes use of just red, green, and black colors. Countries like Mali, Malawi, Kenya, and the former country, Biafra, were inspired by this color combination. The colors of these flags do, however, share similar meaning with those inspired by Ethiopia. Again, here we have the magnificence of the Tawahedo mental state of Neguselam. Now, the adoption of these particular colors by these African countries were not because they lack artistic or design tastes. We must understand that at that time, these countries were just recovering from colonial oppression, and the way they could relate with each other. With each other was to adopt similar colors, as similar colors might signify similar heritage. Fireball hot, Neguselam, the fight to erase the state of Neguselam, the mental state of Neguselam. All right? These countries were just recovering from colonial oppression, and the way they could relate with each other was to adopt similar colors, as similar colors may signify similar heritage. And again, the ideals of Pan-Africanism, which is a call for a united Africa, was a big deal for the continent African at the time. A common heritage of Ethiopia, the mental state of Neguselam. Paying homage to Ethiopia, which is the seven covenant, which is the king, the Negus, the ultimate covenant. Now, the adoption of these particular colors by these African countries were not because they lack artistic or design tastes. We must understand that at that time, these countries were just recovering. All right. We are indeed grateful to these African countries for choosing to adopt the Pan-African colors in their flags, because every time the flags of these countries are raised, they reminded us of the great African soil, the wealth of the continent, the color of the people, and above all, the blood of those who gave everything for the land they loved, and it reminded us of our king who overcame and broke the bonds of iron and oppression and removed the yoke from off of our neck on June 30th, 1936, and come from the hills of Fantalto with peace and freedom on May 5th, 1941. African fashion. Presented here are the national flags of Africa's 54 countries. The colors of each flag represent its country's collective values. Pan-African colors such as green, yellow, red, and black are featured in the national flag of numerous African countries. The colors green, yellow, and red reflect the hues of the Ethiopian flag, as Ethiopia, the only African nation to have remained independent from colonial rule, symbolized resistance. Mental state of Neguselam. Political activist and black nationalist Marcus Garvey introduced the color scheme red, black, and green in 1920, which became the unifying symbol of Pan-Africanism. Neguselam. The fight to destroy Neguselam by the Ferengi Western nations among the Brotherhood. So we witness other nations taking up flags and leaving out the red, gold, and green. So we see they was breaking the Neguselam. They was breaking the mental state and the cohesiveness and togetherness of the Neguselam, with the heritage paying homage to Ethiopia, Algeria flag, Angola, Benin, reestablished. Replacing the French tricolor flag in 1959, Benin's flag featured the colors of the Pan-African movement and the African Democratic Rally, a decolonial party based in French West Africa. Burkina Faso, similar to other post-colonial nations, Burkina Faso flag featured Pan-African colors. The central yellow star represents the light of decolonization. Yes, so we see the magnificence in the redemption of Africa through the flags, but they fought to break the Neguselam, which they did for the time. They broke the Neguselam, the mental state, for we have other flags that came in existence and they didn't even use any of the Ethiopian colors by paying homage to Ethiopia. So this is an attack upon the mental state of Neguselam. Yes, I. Sila. We see it in 1990 with the South African flag. Yes, I. The imperial flag of Kanamawi had its last Christian Ethiopia. The Amharic inscription above the lion carrying the cross of cavalry in victory reads, More Ambassador Zimenegada Yehuda, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. The 5-star of David on the flag symbolizes the 5 pillars of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo faith, of which he is the head and founder and sustainer. See, the king has become the founder, the head, and the sustainer of the new independent Obseculous Orthodox Tawahedo Church. Not under Rome, not under Egypt, but independent, first time ever. This is what's missed by many. The head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Independent Church is Abakadus Kenamare Haile Selassie Siyam Exibir. He's the head of it. And you can't pray to Exibir without first going through the throne of David. You have no faith without the throne of David. How can you pray to Exibir without saying the name or title of Siyam Exibir? For it has already been set up in Revelation. For there was the light of it is Exibir, and the Lamb is the light thereof. There was no temple in there, because the Lamb is the temple thereof also. So you can't go to Exibir without going to Siyam Exibir. For Christ said it in that order. I am the way, the life, and the truth. No one goes to the Father but by I. Because of the Davidic covenant. You can't skip over the covenant and just go to him by yourself. It's not set up like that. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. Ha ha ha. He shall have him in derision. For upon Zion have I set my king upon my holy hill. Fire. The king bashed up the brass iron bars on June 15, 1935. Emperor Kadamari Haile Selassie, King of Kings and Lion of the tribe of Judah, startled the world this week with pronouncements of the entire Ethiopian controversy, speaking directly to Black Muslim men who had gathered by the thousands from all parts of the country to pledge their loyalty to the government. To him, the emperor took advantage of the occasion to warn Black people everywhere, including those in the United States, that they owed their loyalty and support to Ethiopia. Quote, I am not only emperor of Africa, I am king of all Negroes everywhere, including those in the United States and other foreign domains. The Italian warlord is trying to destroy the last best hope you have on earth. Fireball hot. There's no hope outside the Negus. There's no existence outside of the Negus. There's no salvation outside of the Negus. He's the last best hope on earth. This is his quote. So do the Negus not know what he represents? Do the Negus not know who he is? The Italian warlord is trying to destroy the last best hope you have on earth. And the tricolor of Ethiopia, green represents hope. Yellow represents charity, mercy. Red represents faith. They represent the Negus Selassie, the Father, the Son with the red, and the Holy One, the Holy Iris, green. So we dress and trust in the Holy Iris. So that's when the green became up top. But the Ethiopian flag was red on top, faced with the sun. For the faith came through the sun established. But in our time, the flag was charged with the green on top because everything rests in faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So we hope in the Negus. Our hope is in the Negus. Selah. Here are some African countries and the years they gained their independence. Cameroon gained independence on January 1st, 1960. Togo, independence April 27, 1960. Mali, September 22nd, 1960. Benin, August 1st, 1960. Niger, August 3rd, 1960. Upper Volta, August 5th, 1960. Ivory Coast, August 7th, 1960. Chad, August 11th, 1960. Central African Republic, August 13th, 1960. Republic of Congo, June 1960. Gabon, August 17th, 1960. Mauritania, November 28th, 1960. Cabo Verde, July 5th, 1975. Ghana, March 1957. In the years after World War II, 1939 to 1945, a trend towards decolonization took hold of Africa, spurred by growing nationalistic sentiments among African peoples as well as European powers, lacking the funds and political support, both at home and abroad, necessary to continue claims of their overseas colonies. Beginning in the 1950s, African colonies began achieving independence. In 1960 alone, 17 new independent countries emerged, and more followed, with most independent by the end in 1980. Later, some countries, Eritrea, 1993, Namibia, 1990, South Sudan, 2011, achieved independence from other African countries. So, His Majesty victory, May 5th, 1941, spurred the notion and the movement of an independent Africa to come into I. The so I. In the years after World War II, 1939 to 1945, a trend towards decolonization took hold of Africa, which is the Neguselam mental state and physical reality brought by the holy Negus of Ethiopia, which is our king, in alignment with the prophecy in Joel that the king said what he would do. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and they parted my land. Through colonialism, they made false boundaries and new countries under their rule and under their control. And they used the same rod of distrust, envy, and jealousy. Any tribal differences they used to really lynch upon we, and they used it in Africa. They used it upon we first, in so-called emancipation in 1863. And then after this, the scramble for Africa became in the Berlin country, the Berlin Conference, right? Which was after the Emancipation Proclamation, so-called in America. Now they took the really lynch and endorsed it full time in Africa. So they can't get beyond the victory of our kings, Abakadus Kinamauri, Haile Selassie, still makes the everlasting king, the king of kings, a victory over that. For he shall swallow death in victory, and if he shall remove the rebuke of his people from off the face of the earth. And I give thanks this day for everyone participating. I took a special time today, longer than we normally would have, so to try to get into the magnificence of this mental, the spiritual, physical, and mental state of Neguselam. For our king is physical and he is spiritual. He's visible and invisible. But at the coronation, he inherited the crown eternal. He inherited the crown eternal. And we have to know these things. And he took an oath that he will rise up every day to cut off all wicked hearts. So you don't have to worry about the wicked. You don't have to worry about them. We have to concentrate on the mission, what we have to do. Our mission is to keep the unity of Neguselam that they have come and broken and succeeded when the African flags stopped using the ice, green, and gold in their flags. We see it was a left hand in that stopped the trend of honoring and paying homage to Ethiopia with the green, gold, and ice. You see? So our mission at the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated is to keep the unity, which is our sovereignty, promoting our divine culture, which is Ethiopia, based off of the 7 covenants of the Tawahedo faith. First covenant being matrimony, second covenant being the rainbow covenant, white, yellow, and gold, and green, white, yellow, and green of the rainbow covenant. So all the African flags was putting themselves under the covenant of grace. The third covenant is the bread and wine of Melchizedek. The fourth covenant is the new being and new heart of circumcision heart to overcome the Ritter Lynch syndrome. The fifth covenant is the civil code established by the king and the aritical law established by the king, which is the constitutional government, government for the people and by the people, established by the king. The sixth covenant is the throne of David, based off of Psalm 132. The seventh and final covenant is the promised Messiah of David, David's greatest son, who will come and usher in a new millennium of freedom, independence, and sovereignty for the black peoples of the earth worldwide. So we can inherit the throne of life and of righteousness in this time. So we can inherit the throne of life and of righteousness in this time. And re-enter into the garden. For he shall remove the threatening sword and return us to the garden, remember? He shall remove the threatening sword and return us to the garden. That's why we have to study to show ourselves approved unto the Most High. And the studying starts with ourselves, because we have the solution, which is ourselves. Together we stand, and divided we fall. But we have to have a proper vision, for the people will perish without a proper vision and the anguish of war amongst themselves. So thank you once again and participating in Section 5, Part 1, the magnificence of the Tawahedo mental state of Neguselam. The Negus golden rule: do not reward evil for evil, do unto others as you will have done unto you. Neguselam, Leku Lekemu, Malcolm Negatu, Albert Kudus, Kedamawe, Hadi Salati Siom Exhibia, you Negusi Negestitu, your daily Meskele. The Ethiopia, Koheb, Negusi, you Negusi, Kudusi Widi, Amlakana, Hailina, Wastawana, Hasana, Sata Master Ghana, Amlakana, Hailina, Wastawana, Hasana, Sata Master Ghana, Amlakana, Hailina, Wastawana, Hasana, Sata Amasta Ghana, Amlakana, Hailina, Wasawana, Hasana, Sata Amasta Ghana, Amlakana, Hailina, Wasawana, Hasana, Sata Amasta Ghana, Adu Ab, Wil, Memphis, Kudus, Abakudus, Kinamari, Addis, Lassie, Siom, Zibia, Bahamab, Weld, Memphis, Kudus, Abakudus, Kinamari, Alice, Lassie, Siom, Zibia, Amlakana, Hailina, Wasawana, Sata Master Ghana, Sila, our Father, who art in Zion, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in Zion. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive those who trespass against our name. Strengthen us in temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, world without end. Through the name and power of the King of Kings, Lords of Lords, conqueror Lion of the tribe of Judah, defender of the faith and true light of this world, Father of African freedom and African unity, the faithful witness. Abakudus Kedamawe, Gutamawe, Haile Selassie Siam, Exhibia. Sila, Sila, Sila. Give thanks once again. Give thanks for attending and being here today. Alia, Sila. At this time, I will ask, do anyone have any questions before we sealed up? Sila. No one has any questions? I will once again cite the item. Chair, could you lead us forward in our national anthem? Give thanks.
That to be in that land of Ethiopia, it's the black man kingdom. lead us high, who keeps Ethiopia free, to advance with truth and right, to advance with love and light, with righteousness leading. We hail to our God and our King, humanity pleading, one God for us all. Ethiopia, the tyrants are falling, who once more thee underneath. Children are artically calling from over the distant sea. Jehovah, the great one, has heard us. He has come to protect us from wrong. He has sent his holy angels to guide us and to protect us in this land. God bless our Negus high, who keeps Ethiopia free, to advance with truth and right, to advance with love and light, with righteousness pleading. We hail to our God and our King, humanity pleading, one God for us
Selah. Yes, sir. Blessed rising, blessed day to one and all. This day, you're given a chance to do better than yesterday. Let thy guiding light be upon us. Heal the sick, that the hunger may be fed, the naked clothed, the sick nourished, the aged protected, the infants cared for, and the shelterless sheltered, and the prisoners visited, and those educated in thy heavenly manner, educated in the manner thereof. Abacadus Kedamawe, Adisalasi Sio makes the beer. So help us and lead us, our Holy Father and our Holy Mother of the nation, his faithful witness, Empress Menen. Abacadus Kedamawe, Adisalasi Sio makes the beer.